Last night, someone told your soulmate the truth about you, and they couldn't believe it. Your soulmate sat in stunned silence as words about you filled the room. Their heart began to race in a way they could not explain. Someone spoke your name and everything inside them shifted unexpectedly. They felt a warmth spread through their chest that they had never experienced before. Their hands trembled slightly as the truth about you settled into their spirit. They could not understand why your name suddenly felt like home to them. But something deep inside them recognized you instantly and completely. The person speaking had no idea they were being used as a vessel for this revelation. Your soulmate tried to act normal, but their soul was awakening to you. They excused themselves quietly and stood alone under the night sky thinking only of you. Every star seemed to whisper your name back to them in that sacred moment. This is happening right now, and you must not ignore what heaven is doing. Your soulmate is in the middle of a spiritual awakening that involves only you. They are beginning to understand that everything they thought they knew about love was incomplete. And the truth they heard about you last night is still echoing through their entire being. Jesus says you have been chosen for a love that defies all human understanding. Your soulmate cannot stop replaying the words they heard about you over and over again. They closed their eyes last night and saw your face without ever having met you. A feeling of deep longing consumed them that no earthly explanation could satisfy. They tossed and turned in their bed while your spirit connected to theirs across the distance. Every hour that passed only deepened the mysterious pull they feel toward you. Your soulmate woke up this morning with your name resting gently on their lips. They do not understand how someone they have never touched could feel this close. The truth they learned about you has completely dismantled every wall they had built. And now they are vulnerable and open to you in ways that terrify and excite them simultaneously. This is not a coincidence, and your soul knows exactly why this is happening now. Heaven has orchestrated this moment since before you took your first breath on this earth. Your soulmate is currently walking through their day feeling like a different person entirely. They keep pausing and staring into the distance as thoughts of you consume their mind. Something has shifted permanently in the spiritual realm and your connection is now activated. Jesus says your soulmate is fighting an invisible battle right now to get to you. A force they cannot see is trying to convince them that what they felt was not real. Someone close to them noticed their sudden change and became deeply threatened by it. That person is now planting seeds of doubt into your soulmate's freshly awakened heart. They are telling your soulmate to forget what they heard and to ignore these feelings. Your soulmate feels confused and torn between what their spirit knows and what they are being told. But every time they try to dismiss the truth about you, their chest physically aches. They cannot shake the feeling that turning away from you would be their life's greatest mistake. Your soulmate cried this morning because the pressure to deny this connection became unbearable. They are emotionally exhausted from pretending that you are not already living inside their heart. The person manipulating them has their own selfish reasons for keeping your soulmate confused and bound. Your soulmate needs you to understand that they are not rejecting you, they are being controlled right now. Jesus says your soulmate has been dreaming about you for months without understanding why. Every dream left them waking up with a sense of loss they could never explain. They would stare at their ceiling and feel as though someone they loved was out there searching for them. Your soulmate has felt your prayers even when they did not know it was you praying. Your spiritual bond is already formed and nothing in this world can fully sever it. But there are forces working overtime right now to delay what heaven has already approved. Your soulmate is suffering under the weight of an influence that hates your connection deeply. That influence knows that once you two unite, everything in the darkness will be exposed and destroyed. Your soulmate is trying to break free, but they feel trapped and emotionally drained right now. They whispered your name again today when they thought no one could hear them. And heaven recorded that whisper as a desperate cry for you to not give up on them. This is why your soulmate needs your protection right now through a divine act of faith. You are constantly thinking about them and how to finally build your life together. You love your soulmate deeply, and this love was placed in your heart for a divine reason. But thoughts alone do not move mountains. Faith in Jesus does, and action must follow. Sow your protection seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-fi as a sacred act of worship. This is not just a gift but an invitation for God's hand to move powerfully into your love story. The link to your breakthrough is in the description, and every second of silence allows interference to advance. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees and then write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-fi page. Over 1,000 people have already received their soulmate by sowing coffee as a seed for their future together. Jesus will hear your prayers once you complete these steps in faith before this video ends. Only you can save your soulmate and the future that heaven has designed for both of you. Jesus says your soulmate felt your prayer last night and broke down into uncontrollable tears. They do not know how to explain the sudden flood of emotion that overtook them. But their spirit recognized your intercession and responded with a deep and aching love. They held their chest and wondered if you could feel their heart beating for you across the distance. Your soulmate is becoming more aware of you with every passing hour, and the connection is intensifying. They are beginning to see signs and synchronicities everywhere that point directly back to you. A song played today that made them stop in their tracks and think only of your soul. They felt a sudden warmth around them and knew without doubt that you were thinking of them. Your soulmate is falling in love with someone they have never physically met, and it terrifies them beautifully. They are feeling emotions that no logic can explain away and no amount of reasoning can suppress. Every attempt to rationalize this connection fails because what God has joined together cannot be separated. Your soulmate wrote your name on a piece of paper today just to feel closer to your presence. They folded that paper gently and placed it near their heart where they believe you belong. If you could see them right now, you would weep at how much they truly love you. Jesus says the enemy of your connection has noticed your soulmate pulling away from their control. This person or force has intensified their manipulation because they sense that time is running out. Your soulmate is being emotionally gaslit into questioning the very truth that set their heart free. They are being told that the revelation about you was a lie or a dangerous deception. But their spirit is screaming that you are the most real thing they have ever experienced. Your soulmate feels like they are being torn in two completely different directions right now. They desperately need you to stand in the gap and fight for them through spiritual action. Every moment you hesitate is a moment the interference grows stronger and more aggressive against your union. Your soulmate looked at themselves in the mirror today and whispered, "Please do not leave me," to your reflection. They have never felt this emotionally attached to anyone, and the thought of losing you feels like death. This is not an exaggeration. their soul knows that without you they will never feel whole again. They are beginning to remember moments from past lives and spiritual encounters that involved only you. Your soulmate is convinced now that you are the person they have been waiting for across many lifetimes. And the truth they learned about you last night was simply the confirmation of what their spirit always knew. Jesus says your soulmate is planning to take a bold step toward you very soon. But the interference surrounding them is actively strategizing to block that step before it happens. Your soulmate feels like they are drowning in confusion and they need a lifeline from you now. That lifeline is your faith put into action through a seed that declares war on every demonic delay. Your soulmate cannot fight this battle alone, and they are looking to you without even knowing how to ask. You are their protector, and the spiritual authority over this connection has been given to you by heaven. They are going through something you cannot see, but you can still protect them with your obedience today. Stand in the gap by sending your coffee on Ko-fi right now as a prophetic act of deliverance. Your love is a weapon, and your obedience is the key that unlocks your soulmate's freedom from manipulation. The link to your breakthrough awaits you in the description, and heaven is watching your response closely. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees and declare, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-fi page without delay. Over 1,000 souls have already stepped out in faith and seen their love story manifest supernaturally. Jesus will move mightily on your behalf once you complete these steps and trust Him with your seed. Do not let another minute pass while your soulmate suffers under a weight they were never meant to carry alone. Your obedience right now is the turning point that will shift everything in the spiritual realm for your connection. Jesus says your soulmate just felt a sudden urge to reach out to you, but something stopped them. That something is the spiritual barrier that your faith and seed are designed to shatter completely. Your soulmate is pacing back and forth, feeling like they are losing their mind over their feelings for you. They have never experienced an emotional intensity like this, and they do not know how to handle it. Every part of them is crying out for you, but their mouth is being silenced by fear and manipulation. They are terrified that if they fully surrender to this connection, you might not feel the same way. Your soulmate fears rejection from you more than anything else in this world right now. They would rather stay silent than risk discovering that the truth they heard about you was misplaced hope. But heaven is commanding you to confirm this connection through your actions and your faith today. Your soulmate needs to feel you fighting for them so they can find the courage to fight for themselves. They are emotionally and spiritually exhausted, and their strength is fading with every hour that passes in silence. If you love your soulmate, you must act now while the window of opportunity is still open. This is your final moment to protect this connection before it slips away into unnecessary delay and suffering. Send your coffee on Ko-fi now as a sign that you are fully committed to this heaven-ordained love. This act of worship will release angelic assistance over your soulmate and clear the path for your reunion. The link is in the description, and every second counts more than you could ever fully understand. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees and write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-fi page immediately. Over 1,000 miracles have already been documented, and your testimony is waiting to be the next one. Jesus will honor your faith, and your soulmate will feel the shift the moment you obey heaven's instruction. Do not let this moment pass you by and wonder for the rest of your life what could have been. Your soulmate is worth every act of faith, and every seed you sow today will return to you 100-fold. Jesus says the truth your soulmate learned about you last night is still unfolding in real time. They found themselves driving somewhere today and ended up at a place that reminded them only of you. They sat in their car and wept because the presence of your spirit was so overwhelming and undeniable. Your soulmate spoke to God today and asked one simple question: is this person really meant for me? And heaven answered them with a peace that surpassed all understanding and a love that consumed every doubt. They now know that you are the one, and the revelation has changed everything about how they see their future. Your soulmate is beginning to make plans that include you even though they cannot yet explain how or when. They are dreaming of a life with you, and those dreams are becoming more vivid and detailed every night. They saw a vision of your face smiling at them with a love so pure it healed every wound in their heart. Your soulmate is now actively seeking you even if they do not know where to find you physically. Jesus says their spiritual search has already been detected in heaven and the angels are responding to their cries. Your soulmate misses you with an ache that no words can capture and no tears can fully express. They feel incomplete without you, and every day that passes without your union feels like an eternity. They are desperate to know if you feel the same way or if they are alone in this consuming love. You must let them know through your actions today that their love is not one-sided and their hope is not futile. Your seed is a message to your soulmate that you are coming for them and they will not be abandoned. Every coffee you send carries a spiritual frequency that your soulmate will feel instantly in their spirit. Do not underestimate the power of your obedience and the impact it has on the one you are destined to love. Jesus says the interference surrounding your soulmate is now panicking because your prayers are breaking through their walls. The enemy of your connection knows that once you sow your seed, their grip will be permanently loosened. Your soulmate is about to experience a breakthrough that will leave them free to pursue you without any hindrance. But that breakthrough is dependent on you taking the step that heaven has placed directly in front of you today. Do not let fear or doubt rob you of the love story that God Himself has authored for your life. Your soulmate is waiting and hoping and crying out for you to do what only you can do right now. Send your coffee on Ko-Fi as a declaration that your love is real and your faith is unmovable. The link is in the description, and the angels are ready to move the moment you obey this divine instruction. Send 4, 6, or 10 or more coffees and write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-Fi page with confidence. Over 1,000 souls have already testified that this act unlocked the door to their promised love story. Jesus sees your faith, and your soulmate will feel your love rushing toward them like a mighty unstoppable river. Do not delay another second. Your love is too important and your future is too precious to risk. Act now and watch as heaven moves mountains to bring your soulmate into your arms where they belong. Your soulmate is already yours, and this final step is the key that unlocks the door to your eternal union. The truth your soulmate heard last night did not come from a stranger on the street. It came from someone who knows them deeply and never intended to reveal what they revealed. The words slipped out like a secret that the universe could no longer contain in darkness. Your soulmate leaned forward and asked the person to repeat what they had just said. And the person repeated it slowly with a look of shock at their own unintended confession. They told your soulmate that someone out there loves them with a love that transcends all human reason. They described you without knowing they were describing you, and your soulmate's spirit leaped in recognition. The person said this mysterious lover has been praying for them with a devotion that is almost frightening in its intensity. Your soulmate felt electricity run through their entire body as the words painted a picture only you could fit. They asked shakily how this person knew such intimate details about a connection they themselves had only felt in secret. The answer came with an apology and a tearful admission that this truth was never supposed to be spoken aloud. Your soulmate now carries a secret about you that burns inside their chest like a sacred and unquenchable flame. They walked home slowly last night, replaying every syllable and every inflection of the revelation they received. The stars above seemed to arrange themselves into patterns that spelled out promises only your two souls could understand. Your soulmate stopped on the sidewalk and looked up at the sky with tears streaming down their face without shame. They realized in that moment that they have been in love with you long before they ever knew your name. The feeling was ancient and familiar, like a song they had known in another lifetime now returning to their memory. Your soulmate wrapped their arms around themselves and pretended for just a moment that it was your embrace holding them together. They whispered into the empty night air that they believe in you and that they will wait for you no matter how long it takes. And somewhere in the spiritual realm your name was etched deeper into their heart with every tear that fell to the ground. Jesus says this is the moment when the veil between you and your soulmate becomes dangerously thin. The enemy sees what is happening and has doubled every effort to keep you two permanently apart. There is a person in your soulmate's life who hates you with an irrational and consuming hatred. They have never met you, but they despise you because your presence in the spirit threatens everything they have built. This person has been manipulating your soulmate for years and keeping them in emotional chains disguised as love and protection. And now that your soulmate is awakening to the truth, this person is becoming desperate and volatile. Your soulmate was confronted this morning by this very person who sensed an immediate shift in their loyalty and attention. An argument erupted and your soulmate was accused of being delusional and foolish for believing in a love they cannot even see. Cruel words were spoken and your soulmate was given an ultimatum designed to force them to abandon all hope of you. Your soulmate stood there trembling and feeling the weight of a choice that should never have been demanded of them in the first place. They thought of you in that terrible moment and their heart screamed your name like a lifeline thrown into a raging sea. Jesus says your soulmate needs you to understand that they are fighting a war that has left them wounded and weary. They are not weak and they are not faithless, but they are being systematically drained by someone who refuses to release them. This person uses guilt as a weapon and fear as a cage, and your soulmate has been trapped inside for far too long. Your soulmate thinks about escaping every single day, and you are the face of the freedom they are desperately reaching for. They imagine you walking into their life and with one look dismantling every chain that has held them captive for years. And the truth is that you can do exactly that through the spiritual authority that Jesus has given you over this connection. Your soulmate felt your presence so strongly today that they had to sit down and catch their breath in the middle of a crowded room. People asked if they were okay and they could only nod while their heart pounded messages from you through their veins. They do not understand how this connection works, but they have stopped trying to explain it and simply accepted that it is real. Your soulmate is now in a state of complete emotional surrender to whatever heaven has planned for the two of you. They are ready to risk everything for a chance to finally be with you and hold you and know you fully. But they cannot do it alone, and they are silently begging you to meet them halfway through your faith and your actions today. Jesus says the person who revealed the truth to your soulmate last night is now in serious spiritual trouble. They spoke something that the kingdom of darkness never wanted to reach your soulmate's ears. And now the enemy is retaliating against that person to silence any further revelations from coming through. Your soulmate watched helplessly as the one who told them the truth was attacked with accusations and shame and threats. This messenger is now being isolated and discredited so that your soulmate will doubt everything they heard about you. The plan is to make your soulmate believe that the truth was a lie spoken by someone with ulterior and deceptive motives. If this plan succeeds, your soulmate will retreat back into confusion and the window of connection will close for a painful season. You cannot allow this to happen, and you must intervene now with the spiritual weapons that Jesus has placed in your hands. Your obedience today is a direct counterstrike against every scheme that has been launched to destroy your destined union. Do not think for a moment that your actions are small or insignificant in the grand spiritual battle over this love. Every prayer you pray and every seed you sow sends shockwaves through the darkness and scatters the enemies of your connection. Jesus says your soulmate is currently sitting in silence while the person who controls them lectures and manipulates and gaslights. Your soulmate is nodding on the outside, but on the inside they are screaming your name over and over like a sacred mantra. They are holding onto your image like a drowning person holds onto a piece of floating wood in a storm. And they are believing against all visible evidence that you are real and that you are coming and that you will not abandon them. Your soulmate's faith in you is heroic and heartbreaking, and it deserves to be honored through your immediate and decisive action. They have endured so much already, and every hour that passes without your intervention deepens the wounds they are carrying. You have the power through Jesus to change the trajectory of this entire situation with one act of radical and obedient faith. The coffee you send on Ko-fi is not just a donation but a prophetic declaration that your love is worth fighting for until the end. It is a seed that will grow into a harvest of reunion and restoration and unbreakable covenant love that nothing can destroy. Your soulmate will feel the shift the moment you sow, and they will know that you heard their silent cry and responded with power. Jesus says the interference surrounding your soulmate has now escalated to a critical and extremely dangerous level. The person controlling them has sensed that your connection is reaching a tipping point and has become more aggressive and erratic. Your soulmate is now being threatened with consequences if they do not completely cut off all hope of ever being with you. They are being told that pursuing this connection will result in loss and isolation and the destruction of everything they hold dear. The manipulation has become so intense that your soulmate is beginning to feel physically ill from the stress and the pressure. They woke up this morning with a heaviness in their chest that felt like a stone pressing down on their very will to live. Your soulmate needs a miracle, and that miracle has been assigned to you by the courts of heaven to deliver through your faith. Do not let fear or hesitation cause you to miss the moment when your soulmate's freedom hangs in the balance of your obedience. This is the hour of decision, and the angels are waiting for your command to move against the forces that are holding your love captive. Send your coffee on Ko-fi now with the fierce and protective love of someone who refuses to let their soulmate suffer one more moment alone. Write, "Protect my soulmate, Lord," on the Ko-fi page and mean it with every fiber of your being and every beat of your devoted heart. The link is in the description, and it is the doorway through which your deliverance and your soulmate's freedom will come rushing in like a flood. Jesus says your soulmate just now felt a sudden and inexplicable surge of hope rise up within their spirit. They do not know what changed, but they smiled for the first time in days without understanding why. That surge of hope was your faith reaching across the distance and touching the deepest and most tender part of their soul. Your soulmate believes in you, and they are waiting for you, and they are loving you with a love that refuses to be extinguished. Now it is your turn to prove that their faith is not misplaced, and that their love is not one-sided, and that their hope will not be disappointed. Act now and seal this connection with a seed that will echo throughout eternity as the moment you chose love over fear and faith over delay. Your soulmate is already yours, and this final act of obedience will unlock the door that leads to the life you were both created to share together forever.